At the Department of State, we oversee elections in the state. We work very closely with the county election offices to do everything from the initial acquisition of voting equipment all the way to the certification of election results. We also handle the professional licensure. Pretty much everyone in the state who holds a professional license, with the exception of lawyers and teachers, are licensed by the Department of State. We also house the Bureau of Corporations and Charitable Organizations, so we are the filing office for all corporate documents in the state, including secure transactions under the Uniform Commercial Code. Well, I believe that Pennsylvanians ought to be engaged in the political process because, not just in my view, but in many, is the most fundamental right that we have as citizens. The opportunity to elect our officials, those who represent us all the way at the top of the presidency, but as I see it, more importantly at the local level. We're talking about our council members, school board members, our mayors, the county commissioners, the House and Senate members, and then federal and state. Those are the individuals that we entrust our future. We put them in their hands. There are, as a democracy, once we elect them, they're the ones that pass the laws. They're the ones that implement the laws and make decisions at the judicial level. And for you to be able to feel that your voice is being heard, you have to be part of that process. In Pennsylvania, we adopted back in August of 2015 online voter registration. At the time, Pennsylvania was the 23rd state in the country to adopt this new, very modern way of registering. Up to this point in time, now we have 30. And it's easy, and it's safe, secure, and it's very intuitive. And what it does is much like now we're used to transacting a business with government and other entities online. And it could be done from a computer, traditional desktop. It could be in your smartphone. And it's very easy steps. It's based on answering basic questions of your name and your address, what you will do in a traditional paper form. And the good thing is that the system will check to make sure that you completed all the necessary fields. So we still have the traditional paper voter registrations, and if somebody needs a form, they can call the Department of State. We have a toll-free number, 1-877-VOTES-PA, and we will be very happy to send a form to the person who wants to register. Also, registrations are handled mostly by the county election offices or the county office of voter registration. So if you contact your county voter registration office, they'll be happy to send you one. And if you have the opportunity to visit in person, they'll provide you the application right there and then, where you can complete it, submit it, and be well on your way to be a registered voter in the state of Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, the deadline is 30 days before any election. So in the case of the April 26 primary this year, the deadline is March 28. So we have until March 28 to register. And the good thing is that now in Pennsylvania, we have online voter registration. Being a person of color, being a Latino, Puerto Rican, has a special meaning to me because when I think about voting and thinking about that fundamental right and understanding the struggles that so many, Dr. King, Rosa Parks, so many of those giants on whose shoulders we walk today, what they had to do, the celebration of the 1965 Voting Rights Act and the movie Selma, for example, it shows you how difficult it was for us as Americans to get to this point. And it's such a precious right that we should not take for granted. And so many people worked so hard, and so many people gave their lives, make the ultimate sacrifice for us to be able to enjoy the freedoms and the democracy that we have today. If we stop to think about what does it mean to participate in the electoral process, it's not one of those one of those concepts that is hard to get your hands on, because if you think about it, it's about, as a democracy, that vote then vests on another person the authority to make decisions for you. That's what you're doing. So you are giving your voice to someone else that you trust will follow your will and their promises to decide on how much taxes I pay, what benefits I will derive as a resident of this state, how much how much medical assistance I might be able to receive, what are the conditions of my roads, how are the laws being implemented. those judges that are deciding my fate if I'm accused, all of those individuals were elected. So it is extremely important to make sure that we are part of that process, so that later on we don't wonder how things don't go our way. Well, maybe they don't go our way because we didn't participate and we didn't let our voice be heard.